don't compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. This is a quote that I'm sure lots of us have heard at one point or another. As fans of sports, we often forget that when we watch something legendary happen, we're not only seeing a historic play for a franchise.
This is the epic story of C.J. Stroud, Texans quarterback. Let's take a deep dive into his past. Here we go.
Or a memorable moment for the city they represent. We're also quite literally witnessing the greatest moment of an individual's life. But what we don't see are the thousands upon thousands of hours of hardship on and off the field that they had to overcome to get to that point. Perhaps in this current sports landscape, no player embodies this sentiment more than C.J. Stroud. We were all introduced to Stroud at different times. For some of us, it was during his 2021 freshman season at Ohio State, where he finished top 4 in Heisman voting. For some, it was when he became the second overall pick in the NFL draft this past April. And for others, it was during this NFL season, where he is currently the favorite to win Offensive Rookie of the Year as we enter Week 7. Regardless of when
he is looking very great right now. He is passing. He is one of the main reasons why the Texans are starting to turn around their dumpster fire, franchise. Let's keep listening, though. Let's keep listening.
We were first made aware of C.J. Stroud. There's no denying that these past few years have certainly been on the highlight reel of his life. But what a lot of fans don't know is his behind the scenes were filled with countless tragic, heartbreaking, and straight up dark moments that your typical professional athlete didn't have to go through. In this video, we're going to tell the entire story of C.J. Stroud, the setbacks he had to overcome in his personal life, and how he moved past them to eventually become an NFL star. Before I get into it, welcome to the War Room. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you're new, and let's get straight to it. On October 3rd, 2001, Coleridge Bernard Stroud IV, who later decided to go by the nickname of CJ, was born in Rancho Cucamonga, California.
Rancho Cucamonga, wasn't that where they did that, what was it, the Fridays series? Or they said it was there. It could have been anywhere, but that's, that was very interesting. I would like to break down and shout out to everybody in the chat. Here we go. Iyana's in the house. MsRV is in the house. We have Hazel Hamilton in the house. Y is Seeking Knowledge in the house. Feisty Black Tina is in the house. And Millie Pop is in the house. And welcome to everybody up in the clouds. We're going to keep it going. Here we go.
He was the youngest of 4 kids. Though it's still unclear to this day where the J in CJ comes from, one thing that was clear early on was that he loved football. At the age of just 5 years old, his father Coleridge introduced him to the game, and from then on,
this is important. His father is in his life, right? His father's right there, right? Right there. Susie Bear in the house. Here we go. We're gonna keep it going.
He was hooked. Stroud's dad played a very interesting role in CJ's life story. Prior to his marriage with CJ's mom, Kimberly, he had some run-ins with the law. From 1989 to 1992, he was arrested 3 different times.
Oh, come on, give him a chance. He was just, give him a chance. You can't blame a guy for, a couple scrapes here and there, right? Let's keep it going.
Convicted of felony drug possession, receiving stolen property, unlawful taking of a vehicle, and armed robbery, in which he served a sentence of 10 years in prison. But when he got out, he turned his life around, at least for the time being. He met CJ's mom, got married, and became a pastor at the Life Application Christian Center.
A pastor! What a turnaround. Let's keep it going.
Rancho Cucamonga. As a result, CJ's upbringing was deeply rooted in the church, and the religious values instilled in him at a young age were something that he kept with him throughout his entire life. On the field,
I know you guys are like going, well, wait a minute, I thought this was supposed to be about, I thought it was about Iyana. What was that? Trust me, it all clicks. Here we go.
CJ would light up his local football leagues. Willie Munford, Stroud's youth football coach, claimed that CJ was throwing 50-yard passes at the age of just 9 years old. And opposing coaches even complained to the league that Munford was cheating because they didn't believe Stroud was the same age as the other kids. He was CJ's coach for about 5 years. During this time, Coleridge would attend every single game. He cared so much about his son's development as a player that he would even argue with the coach during games. Munford grew accustomed to butting heads with Mr. Stroud, but he respected the fact that he wanted the best for his son, until one day he disappeared. This caught CJ's coach by surprise since Coleridge never missed
I wonder what happened to Coleridge. Let's find out.
Game. So he asked the 13-year-old CJ why his father wasn't there. In an interview, Munford said, quote, "CJ told me he didn't want to talk about it."
Wait. It must be because his wife kicked him out of the house. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean? You know, she must have been, she must have been a feminist and kicked CJ's father out of the house. That's what happened, right? Let's keep it going.
About it. I was going to leave that one alone. He played well that year, but he was different. You could tell. He was quiet. He wasn't playing as well as he was supposed to. He still had the arm, but he went quiet. The reason why CJ's father wasn't there that day was because of an incident that took place on April 12, 2015. An incident that changed the Stroud family's lives.
Of course, it's Stroud's family. It must be his mother's fault, right? It's got to be. Let's find out what happened.
Ever, because on this night, Coleridge forced his way into a woman's vehicle when she was at a stoplight. He instructed her to drive to a house so he could buy drugs, he assaulted her, and then used the vehicle to evade the San Diego Harbor Police.
Wait a minute. That can't be so. That would make it his fault. Wait, let me see.
Changed the Stroud family's lives forever, because on this night, Coleridge forced his way into a woman's vehicle when she was at a stoplight. He instructed her to drive to a house so he could buy drugs, he assaulted her, and then used the vehicle to evade the San Diego Harbor Police.
Wait, let me one more time. I guess his wife put him up to it, right? I mean, by red pill theory, that would be the case, right? Let's play this again.
Instructed her to drive to a house so he could buy drugs, he assaulted her, changed the Stroud family's lives forever, because on this night, Coleridge forced his way into a woman's vehicle when she was at a stoplight. He instructed her to drive to a house so he could buy drugs, he assaulted her, and then used the vehicle to evade the San Diego Harbor Police. The car chase ended with Coleridge crashing into a pole. He got out of the vehicle and started running on foot, where he jumped into the San Diego Bay. Needless to say, he was arrested and was later sentenced to 38 years in prison for charges that included carjacking and kidnapping. Coleridge claimed in the years leading up to this, he once again secretly began using illegal drugs after 20 years of sobriety to cope with the divorce he was going through with Kimberly.
Kimberly, Okay. So, oh, my bad. It can't be the mother's fault because it's not the mother's fault because I don't know if she's even black. It has to be a black woman that's blamed. It has to be a black woman. So it can't, let me keep it going. But yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? This is very interesting. This is going to tie into Iyana so bad. Not the fact that, both men, in both situations, caused crimes and were a menace to society. But you'll see it here in a minute. Susie Bear breaks it down like this. That's why I don't take the black church seriously. Yeah, exactly. They'll let it. I mean, the guy was he caused all this anguish and pain as a pastor. Their Bible states explicitly what type of man should be leader of the church. Exactly. Yep. Why you nailed it. Why told you there's the preference. Yep. So I guess CJ should start hating his mom, right?
Going through with Kimberly. His incarceration not only meant that CJ would have to get used to life without a father, but
wait a minute. So why didn't when Angry Bird and all the other red pillars started blaming the women while the men were leaving, were being kicked out of the house? Did it ever come across the fact that maybe it's the man's fault? I mean, remember now, this is the important part I need to bring up. Kimberly gave him a chance. CJ's father was a crim before they got married, during, and I assume after. I want you to see though why I am proud of CJ so far in his life. I'm going to show you why to be proud of him here in a minute. He is out emotionally performing most of the men in the red pill society, the majority there, because of the one fact that I'm going to give to you soon. Okay, you have to, it's very important for you to catch this. Shout out to Susie Bear, Legs for Life, MsRV, Hazel Hamilton, Fiona, Camo, Why is Seeking Knowledge, and New Diamond Funk Impress. Oh, that's a cool name. New Diamond Funk Impress. Okay, I'm telling you, it's going to get very interesting. Here we go.
Also sent the family into financial hell.
So
Understandably,
now because CJ's father chose crime over his family, yeah. Oh, yes. The Black Manosphere don't tell you about that. That men choose cheating, men choose crime, men choose side chicks, men choose ego over their own family or their own potential family. They didn't tell you that part. No, not at all. But let's see what this lovely young man is saying now. Let's keep it going.
CJ held tons of resentment towards his dad and didn't speak to him for over 5 years following his arrest. He said,
wait a minute, he's holding resentment towards his father, not his mom, which 90% of the red pill dudes do. That's amazing.
said, quote, "My pops, he was my best friend. To have your best friend snatched like that, it was tough. I just look at the things my dad did that were positive, but for a while, it wasn't like that. I hated my pops, for real. Like, man, how could you just..."
And he had the right to feel that way. There was no reason for his pops to do what he did, but unfortunately, I hate to say so, Cynthia G is right when it comes to that XY mix. Lily Lotus in the house. I mean, I'm embarrassed too. I'm embarrassed. Me and CJ feel the same when it comes to thinking about his father. It's called embarrassment. He doesn't deserve that. CJ did nothing to deserve that. Nothing. He was just a kid. Let's keep it going.
Just leave me like that. Given the hardships his family was facing, football became so much more important because now he's not just playing for fun, he's playing for survival. If he does have the potential to play football at a good college, get drafted, and make life-changing money in the NFL, he needs to prove it in high school first. Lots of pressure for a teenager. His first 2 seasons at Rancho Cucamonga High School were nothing too notable. He only appeared in 4 games as a freshman and just 7 in his sophomore year. During this time period, the Stroud family's lack of money was really starting to become a massive issue. His mother Kimberly had to downsize their home 4 different times until they eventually had nowhere else to turn and were facing homelessness. But for Kimberly,
I don't know. It's hard for me to tell whether she is a preference. I mean, obviously she's light-skinned, so that's one thing. But she might just be Creole or something, but I don't know. I have no clue. I'm not going to sit here for 45 minutes to an hour trying to figure that out. As well in the chat, Act Natural Under Pressure is in the house.
this wasn't an option. She accepted a job managing this storage facility in Upland, California, and as a perk for taking the job, her and her 4 children were allowed to live in the small 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom space above the facility's office. The lack of income had a direct impact on CJ's football career as well. His family couldn't afford new cleats for him, so he got blisters on his feet after every single game from having to wear his worn down ones. They couldn't hire a quarterback coach for him to improve his game, so instead he relied on YouTube videos of Drew Brees to learn and grow as a quarterback. Since food was scarce, his high school would send his family packaged meals that were left over, and during one high school game, his mother noticed him playing with one eye closed.
Wow, this is deep. He has overcome so much. I think it's going to make him a better man, but it's a shame and it's sad that he has had to go through this. Why is seeking knowledge breaks it down like this. At Fiona Kitten and Crew called that a high value man, one to chase and desire. LLL, but he got chased and arrested, and go figure. Boom. Yeah. DJ Torch, this is from Susie Bear. DJ Torch, are you insinuating that these men are making decisions without foresight, meaning they come off as quite emotional? No. Oh, Susie, I didn't say that. Oh, I couldn't have said that. No, I mean, Bro Code says I can't say that. Bro Code says that, I have to just kind of like sugarcoat it. No, that's a Black woman's characteristic. Take it back. Yeah, it is. Yeah. You, Susie, thank you. Thank you for helping me out of that situation. Yeah. Men are supposed to be logical. So I guess it was logical when CJ's father went looking for drugs. That was the logic, right? And then broke more crimes. And then he did something really bad because he went to prison for 38 years. And basically, he's not too much better than the uncle. He's not too much better than the uncle. Here we go.
When she asked him why he was doing this, he said he only had one contact lens left, and he felt bad asking his mom to buy
it. Why did CJ Stroud, with all that talent, had to literally play with one contact lens? Because of his mom, or because of the lack of his dad being around under his own father's decisions?
New ones. The Strouds weren't just some family that happened to be running low on money. They were dirt broke. As you can imagine, this had an extremely negative impact on CJ's mental health. In an interview, he said he found himself in several life or death situations off the field that he preferred to keep private, but he knew just how much a career in football would mean to his family, so he decided to snap out of it and focus on that. The decision to focus on football was the correct one, because in his junior year, there appeared to be a small light at the end of the tunnel. In 11 games as the team's starting quarterback, he threw for over 2,300 yards with 19 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions. He carried this momentum into his senior year, where his family's life changed again, but this time it was for the better. In 13 games, he threw for almost 4,000 yards, including 47 touchdown passes to just 9 interceptions, making him the 4th best high school recruit coming out of the state of California in his final 3 years of NCAA eligibility and begin his NFL career. Fast forward to draft day, and the Houston Texans selected him with the 2nd overall pick. After just 6 games in this young NFL season, it's safe to say that he's one of the best picks in that draft class so far, because as I record this video today, CJ Stroud has over 1,600 passing yards, 4th most in the NFL, and he's thrown 9 touchdown passes to just 1 interception, which is the 2nd best ratio in the league, making him the clear favorite to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. But more importantly, through the use of NIL in college and his 4-year, $36 million deal with the Texans, he's been able to create a better life for his family. He bought a house for his mother, and her, along with his 3 siblings, will never have to worry about finances ever again.
That is so sweet. That is so sweet. Bought a house for his mom, straight up. Way to go.
Along the way, CJ also found forgiveness for his father, saying, quote, "When I talk to him now, I don't hold any ill will. I told him I love you. He's made his mistakes, I've made mine. It's not about the bad. It's the nature of the beast. You accept the good with the bad. I thank God for a second chance at this game. He later added, quote, I'm doing it for my mom, and my brothers, and my sisters, my family at home. Just those things.
He's doing it for his mom and his family members as well, and his brothers and his sisters. And, you know, quite honestly and shamefully, I hate to say it, but it probably was a good thing that his father went to prison, because who knows what he would have done to that family if he was there. CJ, I hate to say it, but I think you probably turned out to be a better person than if your father was around more often. I know it sounds crazy. You must hate me for saying it, but you're better off. Let me keep going.
My life has been like a roller coaster. It's been up and down. I've been through hell and back. I've been through so much in my life. I was young. I was a kid when this stuff happened. I had to grow up so early. I had to grow up really fast.
Okay, so whose fault is that? His mom? No, his mom was there and she did the best she could. And obviously she did a pretty decent job, because now he's a high value man. But most of all, he made it out alive. Welcome, melanated vessel in the house. He made it out alive.
The story of CJ Stroud is a prime example of a kid overcoming adversity and doing everything he can to create a better life for those around him. There were things that went on in his childhood that were completely out of his control, but he used it as motivation to be the best player and person he could be. So while the behind the scenes of CJ Stroud haven't been the prettiest, he had to go through it in order to reach his highlight reel in 2023. And lucky for us fans, we get to see this young star add to this highlight reel for years to come. Do you think CJ Stroud will take home the Offensive Rookie of the Year honors? Let me know in the comments below. Let
me stop it right there. Yep. Remember, with all these Manosphere build black men up channels, not one of them talked about CJ Stroud. No, they're too busy breaking down black women. And for that and their irony, I go into the intro. Here we go.
And the pot calls the kettle black, calls the kettle burnt, calls her mad. Kettle reminds the pot that we both been burned on the same stove, that the parts of our bodies that are layered in soot were scorched by the same hands. Kettle tells pot that she still boils water, holds the hot breath of a white man's tongue, endures the slow simmer of a white woman's allyship, and still, we make something beautiful. Pot calls the kettle wicked, and Kettle says no, but says she's so magical she burned the hand of the last man who tried to pour himself a piece of her. Says she's so black she is everything, so black she is the beginning. She is the first thing someone finds home in when they wake up in the morning. Says ain't that what it means to be black? To have the world go up in flames around you and still be sanctuary for someone, saving men who lost themselves the night before, saving men who curse our names but forget his mama is made of steel too. And now the pot has no words but calls the kettle bitter, but loves the glass pan, the fine china, loves all the exotic shit white men put behind glass casings, loves how fragile things not made of steel can be. But this isn't about the pot or the pan. This is about the kettle, the black woman, how she pours herself across the earth, but no one bats an eye when the water disappears. We give ourselves to men who never love us, but they say we are difficult, too hard to break. How we, the kettle, praise this pot this man for all the water he holds, how we are the only ones who do not call him monster when the water boils over, because we know this heat, this white flame, hot enough to make any of us explode. We are the first ones to make noise when the world goes up in flames, but they say the earth was saved by the man who heard her scream. Pot calls the kettle black, and Kettle says yes, but says you best remember you black too. The next time they bring a fire to your neck, they burn black bodies on the stake and the stove. Pot calls the kettle black, and Kettle says, bitch, I might be. Says, nuck if you buck, then says, wipe me down. Kettle says, yes, my nigga, I be black, I be mad, and I boiled the last man down to his bones when he tried to test me. Pot calls the kettle black, and Kettle says, hell yes. But don't say my name as if you ain't ever been burnt too.
Remember when, the Black Male Manosphere, and I'm using them as an example because, they're going to say, well, that's not everybody. Well, whatever. Anyway, they would make statements like, oh, why are all these black women, they get abortions and all this kind of stuff. And they forgot to mention that while black women might get abortions, black men get super abortions. And painfully enough, we're going to find out what I mean by a super abortion. And it's not, it doesn't sound, it's not good. Let's put it that way. I want to bring up one of the Manosphere's heroes in a minute here. Before I do that, I want to read Melanated Vessel's message, which of course there will be pressure to man up in a young boy. If dad checked out on him and the family, dad needs to understand the position of their placing in each person involved in it's selfish. Basically, well said, Melanated Vessel. Basically, I want to show you how black men handle the situation. They don't tell you this, but I found a Manosphere star. I found a Manosphere star to tell you exactly why black women get abortions. I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to show you. Watch.
This girl was pregnant and she was cool as hell. She told me, I ain't going to keep it. You could just take me to the clinic and drop.
He thought it was cool as hell. Wait. Let me pull it back already. Oh no. DJ Torch, don't do it. Don't hurt him. Don't hurt him, DJ. That's a guy's a hero. He's a legend. He's a legend in the bandit industry. Come on. Don't do it. Don't do it, DJ. No. Don't click play. No. DJ, don't click play. If you click play, DJ, you're going to be bashing, black men. I mean, really, I'm bashing bandits, quite honestly, but not black men, because black men, they wouldn't say what this man is about to say. Okay? But I'm going to click play.
Keep it. You could just take me to the clinic and drop me off and pick me up when pregnant. And she was.
Listen to this.
This girl was pregnant and she was cool as hell.
She's pregnant and she's cool as hell. Watch. Let me play that again. Here we go.
Man, right here, nigga. But she was cool, so I guess it was over. So she called me to pick her up. I go pick her up. Here's where the shit got fucked up. She get in the car.
Notice how he didn't even offer to pay or ask her if she wanted the child or anything. Listen to how he literally didn't care anything about this woman whatsoever. I got to play it from the beginning one more time.
This girl was pregnant and she was cool as hell. She told me, true story, you know, and niggas, you know how that shit be. We don't want to sit in the clinic with their ass anyway, goddamn. This
Wait. Let me stop it. Let me stop it.
And drop me off and pick me up when it's over. True story, you know, and niggas, you know how that shit be. We don't want to sit in the clinic with their ass.
We don't want to sit in the clinic. He's just not talking about himself, right? I have an argument to make. For every abortion a black woman got, a black man endorsed it, paid for it, or forced it. They don't tell you that. Angry Bird, you know, Angry Man, I got a nickname for him, which is Section 8, because he freeloaded off of his woman who was on Section 8. Yeah, I got some jokes too, bro. Pot belly ass having self. Let me play it again, and then I'm gonna keep going.
Off and pick me up when it's over. Hey, what's up, man? Right here, nigga. But she was cool, so I guess it was over. So she called me to pick her up.
Does he seem hurt that she's getting his baby terminated? Does he seem, if anything, he seems ecstatic to me. He seems ecstatic and thankful.
You know how that shit be. We don't want to sit in the clinic with their ass anyway, goddamn. It's fucked up when you at the clinic because you see people you know and shit, you know? Hey, what's up, man? Right here, nigga. But she was cool, so I guess it was over. So she called me to pick her up. I go pick her up. Here's what. That's just entertainment, mother. You just came from the hitman office.
See what I mean? That's something somebody who has a complete lack of empathy would say. Man, let me take a second here. This POS. She just did one of the most traumatic things in life somebody can do. And this asshole has nerve to have this kind of a reaction. Wow. And is smiling about it. Smiling. He's still to this day, he is smiling about it. I mean, sometimes jokes, they go way too freaking far, especially when they're real. Even if this was like, let's say this was just a joke, which I don't think it is, because he's one of those guys who joke about real life and shit. You know, keep it real. That's horrible taste. And as a DJ who used to DJ for comedians for about 6 years, some of them even became famous, but I DJ'd for comedians for 6 years. That's probably the longest. That was probably the most common thing I did. No, I wasn't Kid Capri. I mean, I was good. Don't get me wrong. I was real good. I could hold a dance floor too. But, you know, I didn't do any televised shows. I just did, you know, shows in the local areas. Went all over the place, so all over the Bay Area. Anyway, back to what I'm saying is that even comedians filter, you know, their jokes. Even back then, I mean, and remember now in local clubs, you get a little bit of leeway. A lot more than you do on TV. This is vulgar back then. Shout out to Letitia Lovejoy in the house. Man, I'm telling you. So my point is important because it's going to play into the Iyana story. Because you see how the lack of empathy these men have about what women go through when it comes to, you know, pregnancy as it is. And I'm going to also prove to everyone that it doesn't matter. You have the kid, they call you a baby mama. You don't have the kid, now you're killing kids, even if it's theirs and they didn't want it anyway. Yes, melanated vessel. Those were some fun times back then. I had a ball. Couldn't dress for shit though, but still, I had a ball. So yeah, it was fun. You know, worked with Rodney Perry, if you know him. You know, Daniel Dugar, and you know, a couple other guys, a couple guys who actually write for who's the short dude's name? I forgot his name. But anyway, they write for him. Yeah. Linnell, I done a couple shows with Linnell. Remember her? Yeah, we had some good old times back then. Linnell, still crazy to this day. So look at him. Look at the lack of empathy. And black men love him. He's bumping his 50 Cent. She was just a supply for him. He wasn't hurt one bit. But these guys get on here and act like, oh wow, you women get all these abortions. No. Women and men get abortions. Women can't get pregnant by themselves. No. You know something? I'm going to keep spinning this. I'm going to keep spinning this Holcomb track. You best believe. If some dude brings up anything, some pro-life BS about the black community and how black women, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm spinning this. I'm spinning this joint right here.
In the car, that's just entertainment, mother. You just came from the hitman office.
Wow. Okay. Okay, we're going to get into the main meat of the clip. What you're going to see is me fast forwarding through some footage leading to the arrest of John, better known as Uncle John. Okay, that's quiet there because you know this is the real deal. This is like the footage. This is the real deal. You know, cam footage, body cam footage. Sometimes they got them muted out. Probably in the car, it's probably muted out because you know they got the radios in the car. So they're going out here. They're looking for John.
I'm pretty sure that they fucking try to force these words into our mouth. There's nothing ever that's happened.
All right, 1 second.
Yeah. Okay, wait, let me go back. It's about to get gritty here, folks.
With the guy next door, and he was a much older dude.
Okay, let me go back. Okay, you got to hear, this is the important part. Here we go. Come on. It's gonna take a second because you know.
Yeah, so those are some pretty serious allegations.
Yeah, you tell me about it. And this is the reason, because me and my wife, we don't even talk to any of them because they were starting these rumors a while back. You know, it's like.
I wonder if that, is that John right there starting these rumors a while back. Notice that. Notice that. Remember, oh shit, that's right. You know, rumors and shit. Let me play some more.
Of having, getting caught with the guy next door, and he was a much older dude. And they came up with the whole idea that I was the one that turned them out for her. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy gossip shit. It's like nuts. So this is just like, I'm pretty sure I mean, deep down inside, man, I'm pretty sure that they fucking try to force these words into our mouth. There's nothing ever that's happened.
All right, 1 second.
Yeah.
You can talk.
I can leave it on.
All right.
I'm good with it. You get your sergeant up here.
Hey, all right. What did
Okay, they muted it because they didn't want us to hear what they were talking about. But probably what, you know. Okay, we can't hear much. Let me fast forward it.
you just can you come out here for a second?
Huh?
Can you come out here for a second?
Yes.
And I need the charger too. What's the password, man?
The password is
Man. Okay. I wonder if he had a record before all of this. MsRV, do you know if you have a record? By the way, it was MsRV who produced this live stream for today.
How do you get to it? Tell me how to get to it.
I went there in the recycler bin right here.
The recycle bin?
And then she also got other notes over here on the side. If they asked you for a password, she got some of the notes locked. You have to put in the same password as the computer because she have those locked.
On what document is it?
She has some over here, some over here. I'm not even done going through them all. This right here, the recycling bin. Recycling bin, I went down to I went to OneDrive. She got all this stuff labeled right here. I'm not done going through all of them either. But y'all can go through them if you want.
So OneDrive, and then when you click on OneDrive, which should you click on?
You go to OneDrive and then you click on it's a
Did he find the sheet? Did he find the sheet? You know.
This is bad. Yeah, this is how he thought he was going to get away with it. He thought he was going to get away with it. Oh, MsRV, do you know if Uncle John had a record before all of this happened? I just was wondering.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. You got to.
One drive.
You got two of them?
I thought it was one drive.
In case we mess up?
That's why I'm like, did it move when we had saved it? So this is where I was in. If you go right here, that's what I was in.
Well, wait,
what
one
else
second.
do they it's right there, but I'm trying to show them how to get into it.
What are the notes he was talking about?
Personal documents.
What are the notes he was talking about?
Scroll
It
down.
says just right in the right corner.
Right here?
Yeah.
Personal.
Like down in here. Like
Password.
This is one drive.
So this is one lesson for everybody. Make sure you have your daughter's passwords and everything for safekeeping. Don't be nosy, but just if something starts to go down, at least you know you can get into the information you need.
Documents. We're in the recycling bin. Go to documents.
Let me break it down while they're muting. Melanated Vessel breaks it down like this. If you don't have any children, you'll be seen as selfish or not ever been wanted or chosen. Exactly. Either position a woman ends up in or opts out of, there's a whole group of negative judgments put on her. Exactly. Exactly. I couldn't say it any better. There's no winning. There's no winning when you are surrounded by toxic individuals. They're going to give you toxic results no matter how you respond.
OneDrive. It's the two OneDrives right here on the side. You go to documents.
The original one she put in here, it shows dated. The original date was February 20th.
But from the notes over here, because she deleted, from her notes, you can see how you can save it as she adds to them, but they'll be able to pull up all that stuff.
Right, let me read it now.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and by the way, just because somebody deletes something off their laptop doesn't mean it's really off their laptop. If they really want each and every document off of that laptop, they can easily get it. There's ways you can bring back things from computer desk. Trust me.
You want me to go back to show you how you got in it?
No, it's okay.
It's a lot.
Okay, let me go back. So what I wanted to point out in this part is how you saw the dude in there blaming the young ladies, saying that they're messy.
Last time they stayed the night over.
Oh shit!
Oh, okay.
That's Ellis, and dude is him. Listen to this.
Oh, I know. That was something else.
I'm pro cop. I'm like, get their asses off the street. People gotta get to work. So, what is it?
So, as far as right now,
Okay, no sound there. No sound there. Here we go. Is that him? Is that the uncle right there in the yellow shirt?
I know. I used to be on the job too in New York. You know, I know you find crazy stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's just, but you know, we literally had her kids for summers. You know, summer at a time, and then weekends, all of them, and you know, it's just like if we knew where she was at, we would have been the first ones to grab her ass and bring her over.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, he seems so helpful. You see, he seems so helpful.
On our Facebook, trying to find her the same way they are. It's like, are you serious?
Yeah. That she's been gone. All this stuff that's been going around.
Yeah.
She's been dealing with this dude and that dude and this other one.
Notice how he's throwing her under the bus?
Something that she was dealing with cousins at the same time. That one's supposed to be the baby father or something. You know, another one she's dealing with. So I question literally everything.
Do you hear this? Do you hear this mofo? Do you hear him? Do you hear this mother? You need to hear how he sounds like that. Look at him, smug, thinking he got a maid, thinking it's all, no, not a, he thinks he's just going to be able to live on his life. No problem after everything he did. Look at that. I'm glad the police took this case seriously. I'm glad. Benji's in the house.
Yeah, up in New York. He could tell you which one, because what his shield and all that good stuff was.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Let's see what they're gonna do. They're writing something down. I'm trying to get to the meat real quick. Okay, I guess they went inside the house. Kind of messy.
He can take it with him, yeah. Just go ahead. Yeah, he can take his stuff with him. That's not a problem.
Well, because somebody's making allegations.
Mm-hmm. No, I watch Cops.
You know, we gotta.
Yeah, I watch First 48. I watch all that.
We can't say, oh, we heard something and didn't look into it.
No,
Right.
It may turn out to be nothing.
No, it'll turn out to be nothing. But you got.
Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't. Wait, I want you to hear this. Hear this part. This is interesting.
But if everything's going down there, they can fill out the consent to search at the station. And then he's going to get detained and transported.
Okay.
So we should stuff him in a car before he decides to detonate. We are going to have to. You are going to have to cuff him. We'll just take him over to whoever's car, maybe Adam's.
That was such a smart move because we know he would have. I mean, he obviously didn't care that much about his own family because look what he did, right? So we know he would have just took off. Yeah, act natural under pressure. He really thought, not only did he think he was going to get away with it, he was thinking that he could just smugly get away with it. Yeah.
I know how. And he was a cop in New York, so he knows the person.
Did he? How many years did he do? Or how many years?
I think he did
police?
2. I think it was 2 years. Yeah. I forget which precinct he was. It was one on by one of.
Wow, he was So wow, okay.
Projects. I mean,
was he medically retired or didn't like it anymore?
He left. He ended up going into the ones that recover fugitives.
Okay.
He ended up going into that.
Okay.
So.
Okay. She said he used to be a NYPD.
Yeah, up in New York. He could tell you which one because what his shield and all that good stuff was.
Okay.
So yeah, but.
All right.
Yeah.
He's in good standing.
Yeah, he's in good standing. He don't have any issues. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Any issues he had, we cleared up when we first got married. I'm like, no, this is long haul, so I don't want any in between. So.
Yeah, because I couldn't tell because it's dark outside. Is he Hispanic?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if he was half Hispanic,
no,
half.
He's just straight
Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Okay. We're standing over there. I couldn't see in the dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well. Okay. Well, let me confer with my compadres here. You explain to her what our intention is. Okay. She said he used to be an NYPD officer. So he kind of probably knows his way around the interview room and everything that go on.
Well, anyway, that's how he got apprehended. And those police officers, I have to hand it to them, they did a great job. Many times they would have let that dude go. They would let him go and he would have been gone. Gone. Okay? That's the crazy part. I need to remind everybody of how
you have to defend your child.
But you also listen in.
to come first, or is it we're a package deal? If you're a package deal, that's no deal. I'll be honest, it's a package deal, that's no deal, because let's say you and I were to get married, you got a daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say we have 2 kids together,
Mm-hmm.
and your child is 5. So 10 years from now, your daughter comes home and said, Kevin looked at me getting out of the shower. What happens next?
The relationship would have to end.
Huh?
That's not something the relationship would end immediately.
Because your daughter said I looked at her getting out of the shower.
Why would that person even be close to the bathroom to see her?
Mm-hmm.
That would be the thing. You have to defend your seed. You have to defend your child.
Mm-hmm. But you also remember you got 2 of my kids.
Mm-hmm.
So that means I should never listen to it. That means I should avoid women like you, because off the rip, your desire to defend your child blew up. You got 2 of my kids, and off rip, your protective instinct says fuck everything, including those other 2 kids.
See that? What I'm showing you right now, and I repeated it last time, and it's important that I repeat it this time, is on the psychology that these creeps use to gain access to children and those who cannot protect themselves. He's literally, on behalf, of his creepy following, is defending a man to have the ability to have access to your kids. He shouldn't be saying that about anybody. Remember CJ's dad? He was best off left where he was. This is the type of predatory behavior that causes little girls to disappear.
What happens next?
The relationship would have to end.
To come first, or is it we're a package deal? If you're a package
what they're saying is this is what the Manosphere is telling us. The Manosphere is filled with John Quiones. They are filled with these types of men. This is where they come for defense.
Deal, that's no deal. I'll be honest, it's a package deal, that's no deal, because let's say you and I were to get married, you got a daughter, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say we have 2 kids together.
All them deacons out there.
Mm-hmm.
And your child is 5. So 10 years from now, your daughter comes home and said, Kevin looked at me getting out of the shower.
Kevin touched me, looked at me getting out of the shower. I think we didn't dig deep enough into Kevin's past. I'm very interested now, because he slipped on the Kevin touched me part, right? Maybe that's why part of the reason why he got a divorce. I'm not saying he did it, but anything's possible, right? Who would think about making an hypothetical thought like this? Maybe that's why he got so quickly divorced a second time. Maybe those women let him off easy. Just stay away from, the women were saying, just stay away from me and my kids. You can go ahead and do what you're going to do elsewhere. Exactly, MsRV. Why would that be a scenario? I mean, that is weird. That is a weird scenario to pull out of nowhere.
What happens next?
The relationship would have to end.
Huh?
That's not something the relationship would end immediately.
Because your daughter said I looked at her getting out of the shower.
Why would
No, you didn't say that, dude. You said touched. Then you corrected yourself and said, looked at her getting out of the shower. And this woman's protection is perfect. Watch.
Need to be close to the bathroom to see her.
Right. You shouldn't even be close to the bathroom to see her.
That would be the thing. You have to defend your seed. You have to defend your child.
Exactly. Exactly. Because remember now, Kevin Samuels always talks about defending your seed. Defend your seed. Defend your seed. But he's talking about his semen, really. Melanated Vessel breaks it down like this. The fact that Manosphere men make excuses for this clip. Yeah, SMFH. Yeah. What normal person even thinks like this? Bars, Melanated Vessel. Bars. New Diamond says, that's why he wants a preference. Just saying, they see everything as cute. True. Yep. Melanated Vessel says exactly, Torch. He switched it in the middle of speaking when he was saying, what if Kevin touched, I mean, looked. Yep.
But you also remember you got 2 of my kids.
Right. See that? See that? Like you have 2 of my, no. Well, actually, they're all hers. In my opinion, as soon as you start doing some creepy stuff, you've given up. You've given up on your family. All the kids are hers now. You want to do creepy shit, you pay the bill. You pay the bill.
So that means I should never listen to it. That means I should avoid women like you, because off the rip, your desire to defend your child blew up. You got 2 of my kids.
Are you listening to what he's saying? He's literally saying that, oh, you're mad at me. Okay. Kevin is saying, oh, you're going to get mad at me and break up our family over remember, he didn't say nothing about it being a lie. He never said it was a lie and it was a proven lie that the girl saw him looking at her and touching her. He never said that. So you move that out of the way and then you go into the point of what he's saying is this, is that. I get to do anything to this family I want to do. That's what Kevin is saying. Or was, I should say. Rest in peace.
And off rip, your protective instinct says, fuck everything, including those other 2 kids.
Nope. The other 2 kids are going to be fine because they'll be with the woman. Now you see where the divorces come from, ladies. See, this is where they want to talk about, oh, yeah, women getting 80%, 90% of divorces. Now you see why. Don't you think this woman should be getting a divorce? If hypothetically, what Kevin hypothetically said is true, that's a done deal, because it only gets into stuff like this. It only gets into stuff like this. Let's start it off. Here we go. The Aftermath Part 2.
Of your knees.
This is brought to you by 54 Keyz. As you know, we have already gone over this. So what Kevin Samuels is trying to do, or I should say his spirit, is to groom men into grooming women into accepting grown men grooming little girls like this. 40 years old, 16. Man, getting mad already.
Appearance. We gotta watch the movement. Come on, ride with me. On December the 19th, we know that Iyana left school early.
She broke out after lunch, and she had 2 bags on her. That was a surveillance camera recorder. Terry Parker.
Uncle John left work at Ace Pick Apart to go get Iyana, and this poor girl thought that they was about to run away together. But what she didn't know was that Uncle John had other plans. So when he brought Iyana back to his job within hours, Iyana and her unborn child left this earth and was put into a dumpster. And on December the 20th, we see that dumpster leave the property of Ace Pick Apart. Iyana's gone. And Uncle John thought he pulled off the perfect crime because after that, Iyana was not heard from again.
Did you ever hear from IS?
No.
Did you ever hear from IS again?
No.
Did you in any way whatsoever find any sign of your niece ever again?
Nothing.
In fact, did you even message her to please just contact, let you know she's okay, that everything will be okay?
Yes.
Did that return call or text ever happen?
No.
They had no idea where Iyana was. Uncle John knew, but they didn't. And Miss Kim, Iyana's mom.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. I guess the next step will be for somebody to say that never happens. And DJ Torch, you a-hole, why are you blaming the Manosphere? We don't think like that. They're thinking that's what they're saying right now, right? Welcome to the house, King Lucifer. And to that, I need to play this clip. You need to see this. You need to see this.
Like, oh, you're next. No, if you're gonna have smoke.
Watch.
Yeah, before
relax. That wasn't my point about legal, okay?
Okay. Now some familiar faces. Now some familiar faces. Okay. Shout out to Asia for giving me this pic, this video. Here we go. Now some familiar faces. These guys aren't John.
People that's underage, or in my personal opinion, not as it relates to the eyes of the law, right? But as it relates to just doing the right thing.
That wasn't my point about legal, okay?
Let me play it.
Time was like, I just listen. That's not even appealing to me, y'all. Like, you gotta have that spidey sense. It's a tingling sense in your mind that it's like, all right, I'm gonna step off. I'm not gonna just continue to go down this path. He don't have that within him.
Be honest about this conversation. A 60-year-old man walks in the door and says your 18-year-old daughter wants her. This is not 1954. This is not the olden times. This is 2023. We have
shout out to King Lucifer, Conscious Mind Love, MsRV, Letitia Lovejoy, Act Natural Under Pressure. We got with Susie Bear in the house. This is gonna get, these are familiar faces. And what's gonna seem scary is how they think and talk very similar to Uncle John.
have to understand the ramifications of why a 60-year-old man at his age, in his position, is willing to do that.
Wendy, you don't think that you being a platform, having a large voice and a platform and a content creator, that you need to be more responsible for how you affect other people, negative or positive?
What's your argument?
Aaron,
I never made the legal
you just
argument.
said, Aaron,
Let's go with that.
your whole
Let's go with
argument,
that. Let's go.
because your whole argument been off the numbers. If you
That's
remove
fine.
the
Let's go with
numbers,
that. That's fine.
okay. Hold on one
Hold
second.
on.
Hold on.
Jay Prince, I'll answer your question with a yes or no answer, but I want to be clear. I was talking about E Black's point. If you go back to
No,
the
I'm talking
beginning,
about earlier, before
relax.
you come.
That wasn't my point about legal, okay? Just, but for the record, if she's 16 and she's legal, yeah, I'll marry her.
And she was like,
Did everybody hear that? Did everybody hear that? Maybe not. Let me go back.
Sense in your
This is not the olden times. This is 2023. We have to understand the ramifications of why a 60-year-old man at his age, in his position, is willing to do that.
Wendy, you don't think that you being a platform, having a large voice and a platform and a content creator, that you need to be more responsible for how you affect other people, negative or positive?
What's your argument?
Aaron,
I never made the legal
you
argument.
just said, Aaron,
Let's go with that.
your
Let's
whole
go with that.
argument,
Let's go.
because your whole argument been off the numbers. If you
That's
remove
fine.
the
Let's go with
numbers,
that. That's fine.
okay. Hold on one
Hold
second.
on.
Hold on.
Jay Prince, I'll answer your question with a yes or no answer, but I want to be clear. I was talking about E Black's point. If you go back to
No,
the
I'm talking
beginning,
about earlier, before
relax.
you come.
That
Now,
wasn't
Aaron O looks like he's at least in his late 30s to early 40s. Let's listen to what he says. Listen closely.
my point about legal, okay? Just, but for the record, if she's 16 and she's legal, yeah, I'll marry her.
and she was like, this is how you take that big black dick, girls. This is how you do it. And I'm just sitting there like, is this fucking real? So I'm fucking the mom. Then the mom's like, come over here. And she calls her girls' names. And then she's like, get on your knees. And then she put my dick in her daughter's mouth.
Yo. Oh, there's more. There's more, ladies and gentlemen.
It's ironic that it's him trying to say to be the moral epicenter here.
There is more, y'all. These are children. 15, 16, 17. Their brains aren't even fully developed, y'all.
What's your
So
name?
you will. So
Yeah.
you will.
Neither is yours, sir. But let me keep it going.
Wait.
That's what
Hold
it sounds-
on. She's legal. Wait. But that is,
She's
hold
legal.
on. Let me be clear. Is that the only determinations that I would make to marry somebody? Or do you say there has to
Of
be
course
other
not.
things?
It got to be other.
Okay, all right.
We'll
Okay,
be honest.
I'll answer your question. Yes.
You justify the behavior by saying that it's legal, or you felt that it was legal, or whatever, right?
Remember, this is Mr. Throw the women and kids out with the bathwater. Just remember.
Minimum age in which you can have sex with a girl is 16, right?
I just did what I do best.
Now I'm going to show you the parallel of, the similarity.
So please just contact, let you know she's okay. Everything will be okay.
Yes.
Did that return call or text ever happen?
No.
So Aaron can be John. Aaron can be John. Aaron O could be John, couldn't he? I mean, he's okay, right? He's okay with it, right?
No idea where Iyana was. Uncle John knew, but they didn't. And Miss Kim, Iyana's mother, she filed a missing persons report.
To December 21st, 2018, did you get assigned a case involving Iyana Sawyer?
Yes, I did. The case was reported on 12/19. The case was assigned, but my first contact was the 21st with the complainant calling. I speak with the complainant to get me, and whatever information I receive is how I start working my case. We'll read the report once you get the report, and then we'll make contact with the complainant, which would have been the mother. And then I go from there for my investigation on the information that is provided to me.
And in this case, did you learn?
By the way, likes and subscribe, please. Like and subscribe.
The last time the IS had been seen?
Yes,
And where was that location?
at school, Terry Parker High School.
On December the 21st, this is all they had to go on. This is all the information that they had. And while Miss Kim was meeting with the missing persons unit, Uncle John went to Facebook and he shared a post that was written by Miss Kim. In this post by Miss Kim, she talks about Iyana being missing, being pregnant, having health issues. She was pleading with the public to help her locate her daughter. And again, Uncle John shared the post. And this is what he had to say. I quote, "Please share this to everyone you can. My niece hasn't came home in 2 days. If anyone sees her, please call the cops, grab her up, follow her, or call me." End quote. And I'm like, really? Look like John about to put on a performance of a lifetime.
Letitia breaks it down like this. These men will go younger if allowed. They were approaching me at 12. Yep. Unfortunately, it is that common. Susie Bear breaks it down like this. You know, BMs blame girls and women for being, ard, because they shouldn't have been around them. Yeah, basically they're saying we're monsters. You shouldn't have been around us. Yep. So why is it when I say I never wanted to be any space with more than one BM, I get called, exactly. You can the reasoning you can't figure out. There's no way logic's going to be made.
Christmas rolled around and there was still no sign of Iyana. Her family had to spend the holidays without her. But Uncle John got to spend his holiday with his pregnant wife and his daughter.
See that? Knowing he did that dirt. He looks happy. So sociopaths or whatnot, because I'm no doctor. I have no clue what classification he's under. But sickos, they can trick, they can fool. Remember, shoulda, shows better theory. Well, it doesn't work if the men are deceitful.
And on December the 26th, Uncle John went back to work like normal. He's working. But on this day, he sent his boss a picture. This picture right here. He sent this to his boss.
I like to welcome Brina in the house. Susie in the house. Melanated Vessel in the house. Act Natural Under Pressure in the house. Tevin is in the house. King Lucifer is in the house. Letitia Lovejoy is in the house. And producer MsRV is in the house. This is very interesting right here. Listen close. Here we go.
And it's a Google aerial view of Ace Pick-a-Part's property. And what he did was he highlighted all the locations where there were holes in the fence around the property. And not only that, he fixed them. He told his boss he fixed them. So, is this Uncle John just trying to be a good employee? Or is Uncle John still in cover your ass mode?
In Ace Pick-a-Part, there's so many spots you can throw shit over the gate, and it's been proven that niggas is still more in and out of that facility all day. It's happened many times. It continues to happen probably to this day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Based off of the picture that Uncle John sent to his boss, I took my own aerial view. And I marked all the holes in the fence surrounding the property. And I marked it in red so we can get a better view. Because I got a feeling Uncle John was up to something. But that's just me. Because don't forget, when Uncle John brought Iyana back to his job, he parked in that unused portion of the lot. Right here where I have marked in green. That's where they were. So take note of the body of water near the property. And look at where the holes are located. I wonder why Uncle John was so worried about the holes in the fence. I mean, it just makes you wonder. Something not right with this. And when he finished his day of work, he took to Facebook again. And on December the 26th, he made this post about Iyana. I quote, "If anyone has any information on my niece, please call or text me. We are all very worried about her, even if it's just to say she's okay. Any information will help. Thank you all for the share." End quote. Really? He's still playing. He's still performing. And see, Iyana's aunts already suspected him of being the father of Iyana's baby. But see, Uncle John wasn't expecting for Iyana's sister, Samaya, to start talking. He wasn't ready for that.
At some point, towards the end of December, did you talk to your mom?
Yeah.
Did you tell your mom finally who Jose was?
Yes.
That it was a defendant?
Yes.
And did you ever tell then at that time that you thought, or that the defendant was the father of your sister's child?
Yes.
Ooh, baby. What Uncle John gonna do now? All eyes on him. And you know what? Miss Kilman and them found some information on Iyana's laptop, and they shared it with the police. And y'all know what the police did? Went and talked to Uncle John.
You can also see officers put quote.
Good job, police officers. They could have just wrote it all off. They could have wrote it off. Give them that much. We'll give them that.
His arms behind his back and place him in handcuffs a few days after Christmas of last year. And at one point, Quillis talks about advice he gave to his niece, who he says wanted to leave home.
Stay focused in school. Stay focused. You want to get out the house, the right way is
Get your school, yeah.
And then no, she's honor student, like
That's
big
good.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, big time. She's an honor student, and she's doing everything that she needs to do to go ahead and make a transition to get out and go to college. And I was like, well, that's the best way. That's the best way to go.
Then why you kill her? You took all that away from her. And for what? I know the police showing up at John's house scared the hell out of him. But guess what? They talked to him, but they didn't arrest him. They let him go. And the day after, on December the 28th, Uncle John went back to Facebook and posted this missing persons flyer of Iyana. The nerve of him. Uncle John had to know that the walls was closing in on him. What y'all think? I think he did, which is why on December the 29th, Uncle John went to Facebook and posted an ad trying to sell that little raggedy van he was driving. You know, the one he picked Iyana up in? Yeah, that one. And the same day he posted that ad, the same day he sold it for $400. And then he had the nerve to post
Dang.
pictures of Iyana on December the 29th and December the 30th. But little did he know, the investigation was taking a turn for the worse.
And what was the reason of transferring the case on December 30th to the homicide unit?
They had exhausted all their leads at that time, and they felt like, it's a good possibility that she could be dead, just because there was no signs of her anywhere. For lack of a better term, she fell off the face of the earth.
And that same day, Sunday, December the 30th, Detective Abbott went back to John's house. He had questions for Naomi and Uncle John.
They came to my house on a Sunday. We gave them DNA, and they went from there straight to my job. So why did they want DNA from you? They already accused you of this? Because of the allegations, and they didn't ask for DNA. We offered it to them.
So on December the 30th, when they went to Uncle John's house, Uncle John gave him DNA. And y'all heard him. He said they didn't ask for it. He offered it to them. And I was like, really? Who he think he fooling? He's still performing.
Now, specifically in talking with the defendant, was there any discussion about items that IS had taken with her?
Yes.
Again, just focus on the defendant's statements. What was that conversation?
The conversation was regarding what she had packed, and it was told to me at that time that she only packed Victoria's Secret's underwear and bra, and the defendant said 38 pair of underwear.
And was that in relation to talking about the Victoria's Secret undergarments?
Yes.
And did you ask him how he knew that she took 38 pair?
I did not ask him how he knew. I just put an asterisk in my note by it because to me that was a red flag.
Hell yeah.
Wow. See that? Yep. People don't know when they're throwing out them flags.
That was a red flag. How did Uncle John know that Iyana packed 38 pairs of underwear? Not 35, not 40, but 38 pairs. I mean, 38 is very specific. And not only was it very specific, it was an important detail. And I'm going to tell you why. Because during the course of this investigation, we learned that Iyana loved the Victoria's Secret collection called Pink. Now, a lot of us should be familiar with that, especially if you have young teenage girls. Iyana loved this brand.
Now, did your daughter like a particular brand?
Yes.
What brand was that?
It's the Victoria's Secret Pink clothing line.
And did she like all the aspects of that brand?
Yes.
And when I say all aspects, I'm just meaning from like the beauty fragrance all the way through undergarments.
Yes.
Okay. And did she have a lot of those items?
Yes, she did.
Associated with that brand?
Yes.
Now, this is very important, and you'll learn why as we continue to ride through this timeline. But this is the conversation that Uncle John was having with the detectives on December the 30th. And don't forget, John also gave them his DNA. And no sooner as he gave them that DNA, they went straight to his job at Ace Pickup Park looking for evidence. And again, they did not arrest him. So on the next day, December the 31st, New Year's Eve, Uncle John went back to Facebook and posted a picture of Iyana. For days after this, the police was trying to gather all the details that they could so they could try to figure out what happened to Iyana. And trust and believe, Uncle John was on their radar. He knew it. He felt the pressure, which is why he confided in his brother Joseph what he had done to Iyana.
Wow. See, he thought that bro code was going to kick in. You see what I'm saying? He thought the bro code was going to save him.
I mean, one should be able to confide in their brother, right? Wrong. Because on January the 8th, Joseph, his brother, called the police and told them everything.
And on that day that
Wow. See, that was, hey.
you decided to call the police reported, and the jury started January 8th.
Right.
You recall that date approximately?
Yeah.
Did you send him a text?
Yes.
Sir, I want to read to you State's Exhibit 33, and I want you to confirm to this jury this was a text from you to the defendant, okay?
Okay.
Did you write the following, sir? Quote, I can't talk to you right now. I have to stay firm on my decision. What you told me isn't some joke or something you like about. So yes, I told the police because they needed to know. If you was lying, then you will be cleared and free. But if you wasn't, then you won't. I'm sorry I have to do the right thing for that girl and her family, not the right thing for you and your selfishness. I hate to lose you, but I'd rather that the girl's family have some peace. If you're innocent, then you don't need to worry and they won't find her body. But if you're not, they're going to find her. And in that case, I already lost my brother. I'm sorry. Sir, did you send that text to your brother?
Yes, I did.
And then is January 8th, 2019 also one of the days that you had K9 go out to Ace Pick Apart?
Yes.
And did you have retired Detective King come out there from another agency with his K9?
I did.
And was there an alert to a red Mercury vehicle?
Yes.
And did you have I guess it's like a blood tissue found?
Yes.
And did you submit that to the lab?
I did.
And that's come back to a female not involved in this case?
Correct.
Or unknown person?
It was an unknown person.
Okay, so wait a minute. Now, on January the 8th, after the brother got finished telling the story, the police.
Wow. Letitia Lovejoy breaks this down. The SA rates amongst Black girls are over 60%. But those are the ones counted. Imagine the ones not counted. And it brings me back to this.
So that means I should avoid women to come first, or is it we're a package deal? If you're a package deal, that's no deal. I'll be honest, it's a package deal, that's no deal, because let's say you and I were to get married, you got a daughter, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say we have 2 kids together. Mm-hmm. And your child is 5. So 10 years from now, your daughter comes home and said, Kevin touched me, looked at me getting out of the shower. What happens next?
The relationship will have to end.
Huh?
That's not something the relationship would end immediately.
Because your daughter said I looked at her getting out of the shower.
Or you felt that it was legal or whatever, right? That the men
Wasn't my point about legal, okay? But for the record, if she's 16 and she's legal, yeah, I'll marry her.
And she was like,
And did you submit that to the lab?
I did.
And that's come back to a female not involved in this case?
Correct.
Or unknown person?
It was an unknown person.
Okay, so wait a minute. Now, on January the 8th, after the brother got finished telling the story, the police went back up to Ace Pickup Park and took the K9 unit with them. And the dogs alerted on a red Mercury, the same car, and the only car that we seen John moving on December the 20th. Ain't that something? But understand this. The blood tissue that they found in the car did not match Iyana. So, if not Iyana, then who? Because they said it was an unknown person. Maybe the baby? I don't know. Is that possible? I wonder when they took that DNA, could they determine the age? Because the baby is the only other person a part of this equation. I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm just thinking out loud.
Now, Detective Abbott, on January 8th, 2019, was the defendant arrested?
Yes.
Okay. And did you speak with the defendant?
I did.
And was the defendant placed into the Duval County Jail?
Yes.
And did the defendant still deny knowing anything? Did the defendant deny knowing anything about IS's disappearance?
He did.
So Uncle John's still trying to play like he don't know nothing about nothing. And the police knew better. That's why they set his ass up.
Now, was there a decision made prior to booking the defendant in jail?
Yes.
What was that decision?
The decision was to provide a recording device to an inmate inside the Duval County Jail. And then he would be placed into the cell with them to record any statements that he might make.
And did Detective Billick help you with that situation?
Yes.
Okay. Now, afterwards, did Detective Billick tell you that there was some information on the wire?
Yes.
And did you listen to that?
I did.
And the two individuals that were involved in that wire, were they Morris McClendon and George Jackson?
Yes.
And was the wire audio recorded?
Yes.
So Uncle John is arrested on January the 8th. Come January the 9th, they done sent the guy into his cell with a wire on. And if you listen to that jailhouse audio, at the start of it, Uncle John was asleep. He was asleep. They woke him up. And he woke up and spilled the beans to two guys he didn't even know. That was silly. And he had no problem telling them, among other things, how he felt about his brother telling on him.
He told me, he says, oh, I can't sleep at night and all this here little bullshit. And I'm like, wait, hold on, nigga, because they called me and shit, and I had to put that shit to rest, nigga. I ain't had nothing to do with that, that girl disappearing or whatever. It's like, the right thing to do is to just, talk to the police. I said, the right thing to do, nigga, is keep your fucking mouth shut. That was word. And sure enough, he sent me a text like, look, if you're innocent, you don't have nothing to worry about. If you're guilty, you get what you deserve. And then that's when they got the warrant for me. And then they did, fucking the SWAT team came over to the job, gun drawer. They weren't even thinking about me. You know what I'm saying? You were never labeled as a suspect. That's right.
So he thought, listen, Uncle John did way too much talking on this wire. I mean, I'm glad he did. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad he did. But damn, he done told them what happened to Iyana, how he killed her. He even went as far as telling them what weapon he used. Hmm? Uncle John's so stupid. He done told these guys that the gun that he used was still at his house. Trust and believe, the police got what they needed from this recording, and they started to move. Because don't forget, this recording was done on January the 9th. Come January the 10th, the police was at Uncle John's house again with a search warrant, looking for that gun. And guess what? They found it in his bedroom closet. So now they have the gun, but still no body. On January the 10th, the K9 unit was sent back out to Ace Pick-a-Part.
And were you instructed or asked by law enforcement with JSO to walk Knox through that facility?
Yes, I was.
Were there ever any times during when you were perusing the premises that your dog alerted on anything at Ace Pick-a-Part, and if so, what?
2 alerts that come to mind. One was, and it was one of the first alerts, was by what was later told me to be the car crushing mechanism, the big red box, I believe it was. And if you train with your animals long enough, you can tell when they're in a large amount of odor or when they're in a small amount of odor. This seemed to be a larger odor to him, to where he could not pinpoint it. But his mannerisms, the way he put his nose in the air, his tail in the air, he circled, and then he just could not pinpoint where it was, but he looked at me, or laid down, looked at me for the alert. That told me he was in odor. He just could not tell me where it was at.
And does that give you an indication, based on the training of Knox, that it was a large, heavy presence of cadaver smell?
That's correct.
So the dogs alerted on the car crusher. Now, this is the picture that was drawn in court, and that blue line, that's where the car crusher is. So if you look at the aerial that I have, I highlighted the car crusher in yellow near the bottom of your screen. But this is where the dogs alerted. So I'm wondering if that's where Uncle John was taking that red car. And then not only that, I wonder why the dogs couldn't pinpoint where the smell was coming from. Any thoughts?
The second alert was actually near the very last section of the salvage yard that I searched. It was actually in the last corner section that I searched, and it was, and excuse me for saying, it was a beautiful alert. We were working downwind, and it just pulled him off the row I was in to go straight to this car. He circled the car 3 times, jumped up, I believe it was on the rear window, put his nose in the window, and then turned around, laid down, and looked at me. It was a textbook alert.
Could you point to the area that you were referring to, that you said where it was remote and where this, where Knox hit on?
Which one, the car crusher or the actual vehicle?
Forgive me, the actual vehicle, please.
The actual vehicle, I believe, if memory serves me correct, it was in this area, right in here. I remember there was a large amount of water around us when the alert took place.
Okay.
Now, the dogs alerted on this blue GMC, and this car was located in the same area where the red car came from. And I have it highlighted on this map right here in yellow. Don't forget, this is the same area where Uncle John took Iyana. And although these dogs alerted on both of those cars and the car crusher, they found nothing related to Iyana.
They can't charge me with something that they don't have no proof that she was over. They brought cadaver dogs. They brought over looking for cadaver dogs. How cadaver dog look? It's just like a regular dog. It's just they train them out. They train the mouth of their bodies. You know, for some type of, you know. So they really know the body on the job. Yeah, that's what a cadaver dog looking for. Not that he's been there, that they're looking for anything getting buried. Yeah. Boy, they look down on that. Yeah.
Now, did you go back to Ace Pick Apart on January 11th, 2019?
Yes, I did.
And who did you speak with?
It was Jonathan Lindros.
And did Mr. Lindros provide you something?
Yes, he did.
And what did he provide you?
He provided me with a aerial Google map that's the satellite image of their property that had been given to him by Mr. Keyz, Jonathan Keyz, where he had took it upon himself to walk the entire circumference of the property and to make a note where all the holes in the fences were. And he let him know that he went ahead and fixed all the holes so that people couldn't sneak into the property.
So on January the 11th, the detective found out about that picture that Uncle John sent to his boss on December the 26th. This picture right here. And again, it highlighted the holes in the fences. And Uncle John told them, yeah, I fixed it, so couldn't nobody sneak onto the property. But was he the one really, sneaking around the property? Because I ain't forgot what his brother said.
Now, if he did he tell you anything with respect to what he did with her phone? Start with that.
The phone, he said he took it and threw it into like a neighboring water, a river or something, body of water.
He told his brother that he threw Iyana's phone in a body of water. What water? Could it be this water right here next to Ace Pick Apart? By this back lot? I mean, I'm just asking. Because we ain't hear nothing about them searching this water. But during this time, the police even started to inquire about the dumpster. And what they found out was that the dumpster was picked up on December the 20th from Ace Pick Apart, and it was taken all the way to Otis Road landfill. And on January the 15th, they started their search of the landfill.
In December 2018, leading into January 2019, I think you described it as how many acres at that time?
The landfill itself was about 8 acres of usable space at that time.
All right. Of those acres, could you tell us where specifically you sent the police and the acreage that you directed them to assist them in their search?
Sure. It was, it would have been kind of on the western portion, middle of the landfill. It was, I think we estimated around 3 to 4 acres was kind of the general area that we were searching.
Either myself or one of the detectives would tell them, this is what we're looking for. I told them we could be looking for bones because the landfill, if there was a body in there, the heat, the decomposition would be a lot faster than if it was, cold, because this was in the wintertime outside. So we could be looking for bones. We're looking for a bag that might have contained women's clothing, possibly school books or things like that that would belong to a school-age child.
They were able to narrow down the search based off of when that dumpster was picked up from Ace and brought to the landfill. They had to cover 3 to 4 acres to try to find Iyana or anything related to her. And now keep in mind, this is not a residential landfill. This is a commercial landfill, what they call a class 3. And so here at this landfill, you'll find, construction stuff, demolition debris, appliances, tires, stuff like that. Look at this. Now, during the course of the trial, they took us day by day of this search. And I promise y'all, it was a lot. If you watch that trial, you know what I'm talking about. It was a lot. But they had to do it. They had to do it if they was going to try to find Iyana. During the search of this landfill, starting on day 4, they started finding stuff related to Ace Pick Apart, like the Ace paperwork. So in my mind, it just proved to me or confirmed to me that, yep, they searching in the right area. And as they continued to dig, they started finding stuff like panties and bras. Yeah, panties and bras. in a commercial landfill. And here's pictures of what they found. And out of all the items that they found out there, as far as the panties and the bras, all of them came from the pink collection. And again, in a commercial landfill, they continued to search. And not only did they find panties and bras, they found a school book from Terry Parker High School. So it seems to me that they were finding items related to Iyana. But guess what? There was no DNA found on those items. They tried to argue that this stuff didn't belong to Iyana. But we know Iyana only wore the pink brand. We know that she went to Terry Parker High School. And we know that Uncle John got rid of her on Ace property. So as far as I'm concerned, 2 + 2 = 4. And those items were, in fact, items belonging to Iyana. They searched for a total of 16 days between January the 15th and February the 6th. They sifted through over 5,500 tons of garbage. And after all that searching, they still didn't find Iyana.
Supposedly with the time, I dumped garbage over at the landfill because I used to work for waste pro. You know what I'm saying? So I know how the situation goes. I know where the garbage people dump all the garbage, recycle goes to recycling, yard waste goes to yard waste. So I'm very aware of the way that goes. But at the time, it's so past the time of that container being dumped that they would be buried under like 3 feet of fucking garbage. You know what I'm saying? So what the fuck that got to do with finding a bag without the machinery is pretty much impossible. It's not like you get it in the back row. Hey, let me tell you this though. Stop.
Uncle John seemed so confident that they wouldn't find Iyana out in that landfill. And some people suspect that she's not even out there. Me personally, I believe Iyana is in that landfill. And if they would have just dug a little bit longer, I feel like they would have found her. But while Uncle John sat in jail on just a sexual battery charge, a few things occurred. First, Naomi gave birth to their son. Kim ended up finding the Don Quay and parsley in Iyana's room. And there was even talks about a 20-year-old man named Kumar possibly having something to do with Iyana's disappearance. Now, Kumar was only mentioned because in March of 2018, Iyana had a sexual encounter with him. And when Ms. Kim found out, Ms. Kim pressed charges on Kumar for sexual battery. But Kumar was ruled out early in this investigation. One of the
In March of 2018, did police come to your home?
I believe so, yes, ma'am. In March, yes, ma'am.
And what happened when police came to your home?
I believe this is the time I did the mouth swab, I believe,
And what did they tell you why they were doing that mouth swab?
for a rape kit or something like that.
Were you in a sexual relationship with IS?
Can you describe a sexual relationship?
Whatever you believe a sexual relationship is, were you in any sort of sexual relationship with IS?
Yes,
How many times had you and IS slept together?
once.
Have you ever stated anything differently than that?
Grown man, little girl. Let me bring back that little mix I got going on here. Let me bring it back.
fine. Let's go with it. That's fine. Okay.
Hold on one
Let's
second.
go.
Jay Prince, I'll answer your question with a yes or no answer, but I want to be clear. I was talking about E Black's point. If you go back to
No,
the
I'm talking
beginning,
about earlier before
relax.
he said
That wasn't my point about legal, okay? Just but for the record, if she's 16 and she's legal, yeah, I'll marry her.
And she
Just wanna throw that in the mix a little bit, you know? Give us a little bit of what would you call it? Reference. Wait, let me go.
Hey, what's going on, my good people?
Let's go where I was. I think I was up here. Okay, we already went through the landfill.
Landfill itself is about 8 acres.
We went through that. We're way over here.
That came out.
And the sexual battery in July of.
Okay, so we're gonna stop that because I got another one. Now you see where I'm going with this, because look, there are too many older men lusting over. I mean, there's one thing to say younger women, but we're in the girl section. We're in the girl department.
I just wish everybody knew John like I knew John. John is such a warm, loving person. Everybody that comes across John have a special bond with him.
I learned that he had
unfortunately
been raised in a high crime, poverty area of New York. His
pause
mother
it.
passed away.
Let me play that again.
Everybody that comes across John have a special bond with him.
Apparently so. In a very creepy way.
I learned that he had been raised in a high crime, poverty area of New York. His mother passed away in 2010 from bone cancer. I think that her death was extremely challenging and hard for him. They were very close, and he described himself as a mama's boy. I learned from his aunt, and Mr. Quellis confirmed that his dad was largely absent from his life, and when he was present, he was a negative influence. I believe Mr. Quellis referred to him as a schemester. He told me that he began using
Like father, like son.
marijuana. It was at age 11 and had used alcohol regularly since age 13 or 14. He did suggest that the alcohol abuse was encouraged by his family, that it was normative in his family to be drinking a lot. He withdrew from the 7th grade following the birth of his first child. And that was the highest grade he attained. So he
Wait a minute. He had a child in 7th grade? Wait a minute.
And that was the highest grade he attained in his family to be drinking a lot. He withdrew from the 7th grade following the birth of his first child. And that was the highest grade he attained. So he completed the 6th grade. He obtained a full scale IQ of 90, which falls in the average range. So his results are consistent with an antisocial personality disorder. Antisocial personality disorder is a condition in which one's personality characteristics or traits are often maladaptive or unhealthy and impair functioning in a certain way.
Basically the whole red pill manosphere.
In this particular personality disorder, the antisocial, it's typically violating the rights of others. It could include criminal behavior, but it doesn't always need to be criminal behavior.
Wow, violating the rights of others. That is quite common here in this space.
Could be manipulation. There could be some arrogance, some entitlement, deceitfulness, if I didn't say that already. But we often think about it
going along with criminal behavior.
Now, do you see how that's tying into the manosphere? Do you see how it's tying into the manosphere?
All right, the verdicts are legally sufficient. I'm going to give it to the clerk for publication. Mr. Quelez, please rise with your counsel.
In the Circuit Court of the 4th Judicial Circuit in and for Duval County, Florida, case number 16, 2019, CF 7518AXXXMA, Division CRI, State of Florida versus Jonathan Jacob Quelez, verdict count 1. Lead the jury found the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. We find the defendant did actually possess and discharge a firearm during the commission of the offense. Verdict count 2. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. We find the defendant actually possessed and discharged a firearm during the commission of the offense. Verdict count 3. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of engaging in an act that constitutes sexual battery upon or with a child 12 years of age or older, but younger than 18 years of age, by a person in a familial or custodial authority, as charged in the indictment. So say we all that in Jacksonville, Duval County, Florida, signed by the foreperson, dated September 21st, 2023.
Life is still an option. There's something redeemable here. There's something here that you can latch onto and say life without the possibility of parole is what's appropriate in this circumstance.
What I find most sad about these cases, what's sad about these cases is the impact it has on people beyond this courtroom. Although it's the state of Florida versus Jonathan Quelez, this court has been filled with people beyond that. Aunts, uncles, grandparents, cousins, and even on the defense side, his brother, his aunts, his cousins. And then what goes unmentioned is his 5 children. And per my math, one of them was probably born a month after he was arrested. He's probably even 4 to 5 years old now. Although they have to live with this, they don't deserve it. It just shows you the impact of one decision impacts so many people beyond the criminal justice system. The last thing I want to add is the testimony came out during the trial. The family found out early December the 3rd, and then the rest of the family found out December 6th regarding Iyana's pregnancy. She had no B visit on December 13th. I recall the testimony coming out that the child, at that point, the pregnancy was 22 weeks and 5 days. And if you do the math, 6 days later, December 19th, she would have been 23 weeks and 4 days. That baby could feel love and comfort. Sadly, because of Mr. Quelez, he made sure it felt pain.
I can pause it right there. I mean, life in prison, I think he sort of got off easy. But it's something, and who knows? So I want to make this one. I want to roll the tape one more time on a couple other tracks. Here we go. Oh, no, not that one. That's not the one I wanted. Give it a second to catch. Okay, there we go.
Years from now, your daughter comes home and said, Kevin touched me, looked at me getting out of the shower. To come first, or is it we're a package deal? If you're a package deal, that's no deal. I'll be honest, it's a package deal, that's no deal, because let's say you and I were to get married, you got a daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say we have 2 kids together,
Mm-hmm.
and your child is 5. So 10 years from now, your daughter comes home and said, Kevin touched me, looked at me getting out of the shower. To come first.
So basically, men should come first. In Kevin,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say we have 2 kids.
See, Kevin speaks for so many men, millions of men. And they love him and they follow him. And their mantra is the man comes first no matter what. Even if the man destroys the family. But it's not in their eyes, they don't see it's the man destroying the family because they feel like they're entitled to do what they do.
Kids together.
Mm-hmm.
And your child is 5. So 10 years from now, your daughter comes home and said, Kevin touched me, looked at me getting out of the shower. What happens next?
The relationship will have to end.
Huh?
That's not something the relationship would end immediately.
Because your daughter said I looked at her getting out of the shower.
Why would that person even be close to the bathroom to see her?
Right. He's basically admitting that the men in his space are creeps by defending them right now. And more than likely, he very well could be one of them himself.
That would be the thing. You have to defend your seed. You have to defend your child.
Mm-hmm. But you also remember you got 2 of my kids.
Mm-hmm.
No. See, that's the mistake he made. They're not his kids. They're hers and his kids. I can see why he got a divorce. And men love this dude. So if men love this dude, they want to be this dude.
So that means I should never listen to it. That means I should avoid women like you, because off the rip, your desire to defend your child blew up.
Wait a minute. Listen close.
I should never listen to it. That means I should avoid women like you, because off the rip, your desire to defend your child blew up.
Her desire to defend her child blew up.
You got 2 of my kids.
No, they're not your kids. As soon as you, by your theory, touched and looked at her daughter, you lost your family. See, remember now, he made no reference to the daughter line. The young lady down here, she brought up a very good point. You should not even be near the shower. Creepy.
And off rip, your protective instinct says fuck everything, including
See, now notice how he's putting the onus of responsibility on the mother and not on the fact that himself of being a creep. That's what makes this so scary and revolting, is that he said nothing about remember now, he's making an example, but he's making an example for his pals. I remember when he was interviewing a lawyer and he went in hard on her when she said that her ex had DV'd her. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to say it. I think dude right here, let's put it this way. I can see why his wife left. Or he left his wife. Who knows? Better off.
2 kids. Do you?
No,
you said the relationship would have to end. So what would you tell? What would you tell?
Why would it? Man,
our 2 children.
You see the dysfunction that he infected. I mean, it's bad enough that the Manosphere was bad enough as it was. The Black Manosphere was bad enough as it was, and now he infected those men more. Now they think they can do what we saw Uncle John do.
That's a tough situation.
No, you said the relationship would have to end. So
it would have to end because.
But what would you tell
any of my kids? If I have 3 kids, one by someone else.
Let me pause it right here. Why is seeking knowledge breaks it down like this? No, not new to me. Hurt me all around. The trust these people had, the degeneracy of this primate and this baby girl seeking validation from this exploiting predator. No winners here. Bars. Well said. Well said. Why seeking knowledge? I mean, there's not much more to say.
My
but what I'm telling you, what I'm saying is what we tell our 2 children.
No, see, now you see how they're manipulating it? Again, when you're in the Army or any kind of, system, if you break the law or if you do something that's immoral, they take your stripes, right? As a father, if you become creepy, you shouldn't, just because your wife wants to mammy out or not, doesn't mean that you should be able to keep the same respect. Let's put it that way. Excuse me for stuttering, but this is kind of upsetting to me. LW breaks it down like this. The fact that those kids are half his has nothing to do with her protecting her kids. Absolutely. She's doing more to protect her kids than the dude is. The dude's a problem. In this theory that Kevin Samuels is talking about, the dude's the problem. He's the one attacking the kids. And nobody sees that.
Your half sister stated this happened and this is not a comfortable situation and we have to part ways.
You get the fuck out.
She made the right decision, and look at him trying so hard to manipulate her. This is what John was probably going to do next. Welcome, Lana Love. Welcome, Lana Love. Tevin's in the house. Why Seeking Knowledge in the house. MsRV, the producer of the show, in the house. New Diamond in the house. The LW Academy Hub for Women is in the house. King Lucifer is somewhere in the clouds. He's up there. Fiona's in the house. Camo's in the house. The executive producer. Let's keep it going.
You can get the fuck out.
Because I'm not the one paying the bills.
No, you know, because you're not taking my kids.
See? These creeps. I almost said something. I almost said something that was real bad, but I caught myself. Let's finish this off with this right here.
Fine, let's go with it. That's fine. Okay. Hold on one second. Hold on.
Jay Prince, I'll answer your question with a yes or no answer, but I want to be clear. I was talking about E Black's point. If you go back to
No, I'm talking about earlier before
relax.
E Black.
That wasn't my point about legal, okay? Just but for the record, if she's 16 and she's legal, yeah, I'll marry her.
And she was like, "This is how you."
You heard it. You heard it. You heard it. Straight out of his mouth. So any of these guys can become a John Keyz. It's just a step further, right? I would like to thank everybody for making this one heck of a live stream. Welcome, Quita. It's always good to see you. Yeah, you're right. These are some, I mean, I'm telling you, see, they'll try to separate themselves from, you know, Pookies and Rayways, even though if they were to describe themselves about not themselves, but what they would do, things they would do, they would literally match.
That's fine. Okay.
They would literally match
Jay Prince, I'll answer your
what
question.
they say they are not.
But I want to be clear. I was talking about E Black's point. If you go back to
No,
the
I'm talking
beginning,
about earlier before
relax.
E Black.
That wasn't my point about legal, okay? Just but for the record, if she's 16 and she's legal, yeah, I'll marry her.
And she was like,
You heard him. I don't even want to repeat it. I'm not going to repeat that. These fools will get on here and do weird shit. I mean, if everyone liked the live stream tonight, please put a 1 in the chat. I think we got what we needed to get done. If you have, let me drop the link just in case somebody would like to come up and maybe say something. You can feel free to do so. Maybe you've been itching to do it. I'm going to drop the link. This was something else. This was something else. I mean, the way you see how it's in increments, men can do what we just saw. Welcome, Kevin.
Yeah, welcome. Thanks for letting me on. This remind me of that live I emailed you about that I was in last night. A lot of those guys that live was agreeing with Kevin Samuels and was saying that Kevin Samuels was right all along. And why they said that, it pissed me off because they don't have no clue what Kevin Samuels' message really is about. But at the same time, while I was in that live, I told you about the whole time they were saying they called me names, simp, gay, all those names because I didn't agree with them. That's why. This is why I ain't gonna say what I want to say, but this is why most of the I have no respect for most black men, and they got mad at me because I say that's how most of them act, which they do. It's the truth. They get mad at the truth, and they get bad because people don't like them.
Unfortunately, it's true. I mean,
I'm not perfect by any means, but I ain't nothing like those guys.
Amen to that. I mean, the sad thing is this, is that they don't even want to change. They know there's something wrong with them.
Fiona, I'm gonna try to reply to what Fiona said. They saying that he was right about all the fuckery. Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm.
And they would agree with that. They would agree with him in that video. He was talking to that you played in this video too, because they some sick individuals.
Yeah, I mean, it's just sad to see it. It is. It's real.
And then
sad.
again, I'm trying to remember what I said in that live because I was talking about. They were saying, it was stuff they were saying about Cynthia G too, but I'm not the biggest Cynthia G fan because there was some things that I didn't know that she did that would made me lose some respect for her. But her message was still right, but she was just the wrong messenger.
Yeah, my opinion of Cynthia G is basically you like her or dislike her, or
I mean, her message is true, but her message was true, but she didn't take her own advice.
Yeah, which
but
advice
what people, I know a handful of people who were in Cynthia G's circle, but they disbanded from her, and one of them told me she likes to lie about her daughter.
What do you mean?
I was told that Cynthia G has a daughter that she doesn't like to talk about, and this person who told me this was involved with Cynthia Nyla.
Okay, can I ask you something?
What's going on?
Can I ask you something? If you've seen how creepy the internet is, we just went over. We just went over a bunch of creeps, right?
But
would you want to even mention your daughter on here?
And I'm kind of glad Cynthia G didn't.
Answer that question. Would you want to answer? I mean, you've seen how these creeps are. So would you really want to mention them?
No.
Then why are you? Where did you? Who's? I mean, the thing is this. I'm not trying to debate or argue with you, but it's like, who would want? I don't even like to mention grown family members on here. So I don't know who you were talking to, who they were, but to use that as speculation for she did something wrong.
This was
wait, no, let me finish what I'm saying. If you're using that for the speculation of what she's doing wrong because she doesn't mention people on here, then but you see that we just did a live stream on how young little girls are being exploited. That's kind of a weird reasoning. Is there any other reason you want to come up with? Is there some other reason why you feel bad about? You feel she's not the right messenger?
I feel like she failed to protect Black women from Nyla and Taz, especially Taz, because we know what kind of guy Taz is, and so did Cynthia, but
say it one more time. Say it one more time, but slower, a little slower. So what you're saying, she doesn't protect Black women? Is that what you said?
It's something I'm gonna have to DM you about later, because I'm gonna have to try to find that live I did with Manosphere, where she debunked all this stuff that was going on at that time. I found out about it, but it was mind-boggling to me at that time.
Well,
and even Manosphere talked about that in the Mary's channel too.
Okay, I mean, it just sounds like to me the reasoning you gave me that doesn't make sense. To be honest, let's put it this way. Let's stop right here. When you can come up with I think it sounds like to me you have something in your head, but you're not sure because you have to look into something or something like that. If that's the case, then let's do it then. But it sounds like for you to go off of not believing in Cynthia G because she doesn't want to talk about a child she may or may not have because I haven't confirmed it and it's not
I mean, she don't have to, but if other people talking about, if other people that she used to be friends with are talking about that, why she didn't address them last year?
So wait. Why are we even talking about? See, the thing is this. Okay, let me break it down like this. Tevin, you can't use rumors like this to come to a conclusion about somebody.
You are right.
And it seems like that. I mean, it seems like you're not only using rumors, but you're stacking them one on top of each other. From people that might be mad at her or might not like her anymore. So what's the point?
Oh, jeez.
So like, let's say I say something about Kevin, right? When I used to say he makes $900 a month. It's because I saw it in writing on a legal document. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it from rumors. You know what I mean? That's the type of information you're looking for if you want to, and this is anybody, not just Cynthia G, it's anybody. If you want to come to a conclusion for somebody and let that mold the way you feel about them,
then there's something wrong with the individual. Like I said, let's just use me in this case. It might be something wrong with me because of that, but
because what?
It might be something wrong with the person if they absorb all this information they had, so that they turn around and have bitterness towards that person.
I mean, basically the thing is that it's okay to take somebody to listen to somebody about somebody. Who knows? You see what I'm saying? You can do that. The problem is, are you going to take their word as bond, or are you going to just use those words to look into if you really want to? Because quite honestly, it's not my business. You know what I'm saying? But if you're gonna come to a conclusion on somebody, you would think you would want to have conclusive evidence, correct?
True.
So if you're getting rumors from rumors, then how is that going to help you?
It ain't.
I can tell you precisely why Anton gets on my nerves. I can tell you precisely why Kevin gets on my nerves. I can tell you precisely why Obsidian gets on my nerves. They've said and done things that I can show. They said and done things that I can show or prove that are disgusting to me.
Oh, trust me, I got on Obsidian when he tried to sneak in Amiri's panels. And every time that happened, it was something not nice. I said to him.
Yeah. But you see my point, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's all I got to say. But anyway, everybody, thank you for coming through. And I will see you on the next one. This time,